Hi there. Over the next couple of minutes, I just want to talk to you about referencing websites using the Harvard style. So if you've watched the previous two videos about referencing books and referencing journal articles, you'll definitely spot a pattern here because the details are much the same. You will need to include the author or authors or the corporate author. I'll explain more about what a corporate author is in a minute. The date of publication, the title of the site, the page or article that you were on, the web address, or as it's sometimes referred to, the URL, which is Uniform Resource Locator, but we usually just call it the web address. And then finally, the date you last accessed the website. And that goes in rounded brackets at the end of your reference. Okay, so let's look at a fairly straightforward example here. So you were on a website, you read an article by somebody called Kenway, Paul Kenway, and the article was put onto the website in 2008. So it was published in 2008. So our little citation is just Kenway, 2008. And that's what we put into the body of our work. But now we need to put the full details in our reference list at the end of our work. So we start with the author's name. And unlike our citation, remember we must include the first initial in our reference list. The year of publication was 2008. The title of my article was In Work Poverty, so I've put that in italics. So just like a book title or a journal title, it must appear in italics. The page was available at, and I've included the full URL. Please don't link your reader to the homepage of the organisation. They're not interested in that. They want to go straight to the bit of the website that you read. And then the thing we must remember is the date last accessed, which goes in rounded brackets at the end. Okay, that's fine, and that's how you lay out a reference for a website. However, websites can be tricky, and they can be tricky for two reasons. Sometimes you can't find the author, and sometimes you can't find a date of publication. So you need to know what to do in these two circumstances. So if there is no author, use the corporate author. And the corporate author is simply the organisation responsible for producing the information. If you can't find the author, and if you can't find the corporate author, how does that reflect on your research? If you can't tell your reader where you've taken your information from, does that reflect well or not so well in your research? Similarly, if you can't find the date of publication, then you can simply use the words no date to indicate this. So in the body of your text, you might have read a great article by McIntyre, but there's no date of publication on it. So we would put in our citation, we would put McIntyre, no date. And then in our reference list at the end, we'd put McIntyre, comma, and their first initial, no date in rounded brackets, and then finish off the reference that way. Let's look at a wee example. So we were on the NHS website, and we couldn't find the date of the article, we couldn't find the author, but we know it was produced by the NHS, so we've put NHS as the corporate author, and no date as our date. And then in our reference list at the end, we have NHS, no date, the title, which again goes in italics, available at, and then date last accessed.